Are you ready to find out what these exclusive skills that a leader needs to be successful? I'm Eric with Leadership Developed. Last week, we did this video in which we talked about the core skills within this graph. This week, we're going to talk about the exclusive skills that we barely touched about in this video. We're going to talk more about why these skills make you, as a leader, more successful than your peers. So, in this exclusive realm, we're going to talk about these skills. These skills are emotional intelligence, ubiquitous or omnipresent, interpersonal communication, environment and or cultural manager. And the reason why it's not a managerial skill, because it actually takes leadership to do that. But the most important skill that you need as a leader is understanding human behavior. And you've heard me talk about Sarah a lot. And that is the basis of how you can be successful in understanding human behavior. It's a great start. It sets up the rest of the conversation, it sets up the conflict resolution, it sets up the emotional intelligence, it sets everything up. Emotional intelligence is having the situational awareness of knowing how to react. And trust me, reactions are not easy when they come, naturally. It's what we do as humans. But emotional intelligence also helps you keep control of the situation by maintaining that calm, that confident demeanor that most people seek. You see, one of the things I learned as a pilot was it's the way you talk to the crew during the most chaotic, scariest moments. We call them emergency procedures. But by having that calm voice, by showing that confidence that we know the procedures, we are executing procedures, and we are going to be fine. That goes a long ways. Because it's so easy for everyone to go, oh my God, we're falling, the engine shut off, we don't know what we're going to do. Oh yeah, we do. We know how to restart an engine in flight. We know how to handle this. And there's also leaders that just, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then that just gets everyone else spun up. Emotional intelligence allows you as a leader to know when to make those appropriate tones in the situation that you need. But you have to pre-plan that. You have to practice it. And trust me, it goes a long ways. So how do you do that? Morning meditation. In the morning meditation, you can throw yourself into a situation that you could see that day and just walk yourself through. Visualize yourself going through the motions of how do you prefer to handle the situation. You can be a very passionate leader and still have emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence gives confidence to those who are calling you the leader. They believe in what you're doing because your ability to be able to put in tones that are appropriate to the subject at hand. The next one we're going to talk about is conflict resolution. We talked in previous videos about conflict resolution because it is a leader's responsibility to create the environment for arguments to happen, for disagreements to happen. The nature of the peace is going to be dictated by the nature of the war. And what do we mean by that is if they disagree in a professional, friendly manner, they're going to get along together when there's a resolution in a friendly, professional manner. However, if it's an ugly fight, if it's a name-calling, blaming type argument, then when the resolution is given by you, it ain't going to be pretty. And you're not going to be happy with the way they're going to go about business. So it's up to you as a leader to make sure that people understand that this is how we're going to resolve these conflicts. I want people to argue. I want them to disagree. Why? Because then we're going to bring out the best solutions possible. Ubiquitous, omnipresent. Trust me, I got a good lesson on this one when I was living in Japan. When you have multiple units scattered throughout Southeast Asia, you'll learn real quick how to build situational awareness and be able to provide support to those commanders who are out there in those various locations dealing with the partners that we have out there. But it's up to you as a leader with people spread out to be well aware of what's going on, because you have to be able to get your logistics, your resources, your support to those people in a timely manner. Sometimes a day is too long. Sometimes even an hour is too long. But by having that ubiquitous, that presence all over the place, where those managers that are out there who feel like they shouldn't be by themselves, they should feel that they know that they have someone like you as a leader nearby that they can escalate something to and get help. Or they can go, hey, we need your support on this to be able to get our partnering units to be able to fall in line. Trust me, this is a very positive thing for you to be able to not interfere with it, but be able to let your leadership team know that when they're at their location dealing with their challenges, that they know that they have your support, that they can pick up the phone, call you, and be able to say, hey, this is the situation we have, these are the resources we need, and this is how it's going to make it successful. With that type of communication, you'll be able, as a leader, to already have that frame of mind going, okay, we were ready for this. We knew this was going to come, or we were anticipating something like this to happen. We will get you what you need in a timely manner. Is it perfect? No, trust me. In the military, I probably 1 out of 10 times got anything I requested and make my life a little bit easier. Knowing that I had a boss above me that was ubiquitous, who had that situational awareness, knowing that if I made a call to them, it was to have them escalate. I was escalating something, or most of the time you had to give them a report. But if I needed their support, I would let them know, this is what we've tried, this is where we're at, and this is what we need from your position. Because with position comes power, and power of influence, power of resources goes a long ways. The next one is interpersonal communication. So interpersonal communication, we're going to take the words out of it, and we're just going to put in our body language, our tone in our voice, the way that we non-verbally respond. Because these are important. How close do you stand to somebody? Understanding what these things mean go a long way. A lot of people don't want that space invaded, especially Americans. By having that knowledge of interpersonal communication allows you to be able to respond in an active manner that lets the other person know that you are paying attention and that you want to be part of the solution. See, something simple as that is lost in emails. It's lost in text messages. And sometimes it's even lost on the phone. Having eye-to-eye contact, being in the presence of the same room, hearing my boss grunt anytime I told him something he didn't want to hear. Those were things that are feedbacks that allow us to be able to put the answers together, to be able to find a better solution that is required. Cultural and environmental management. This means this is you pretty much making sure that the culture that you have in your organization is what you want. If you want a collaborative environment, it is you as a leader to create that for them. Set up the example, enforce how you want people to interact with each other. Don't tolerate what you don't think is acceptable. But it's your job to manage that. Managers don't think of in terms like that, but leaders do. Leaders want the happy family sometimes. So what they do with the happy family is make sure that everyone gets along, everyone kumbaya and all that other stuff. But not that I'm a pot stirrer, but I want as we talked earlier, I want the discussions of why one party believes that this will work, why another party will believe the opposite will work, and be able to have that discussion to learn from it what their beliefs are, what their points of view are, what am I not seeing from my point of view, and each other's. Creating that situational awareness from everyone's point of view. And then, of course, when we talked about the most important thing in understanding human behavior, that is understanding that when somebody gets upset or has an emotional reaction, you have to let them go through what I call SARA. SARA is the shock, anger, resistance, acceptance. And this allows you as a leader to be able to maintain your calm demeanor, to allow you to have your mind focused on what's happening, not getting caught up in their emotions, not letting them dictate the situation. It allows you to control the room, control the space, because you use emotional intelligence. But by understanding these things, human behavior, allows you to train your future leaders, to train your people, your leadership team, to be able to create a positive space for their people, for the front line people to be able to deal with this stuff. Leadership's not easy, trust me. I can talk here all day about these great ideas. It sure is fun when you have people that call you the leader, and they talk about those days where we overcame the challenges together. Where, remember when this happened and we had to do this to get ourselves back in position? Those are great stories. Those are great memories. But you can't get there until you create this environment. And that's why these exclusive skills are important. So let us review of what we talked about in the exclusive skills. The first one is the emotional intelligence. The second one is conflict resolution. The third one is ubiquitous and or omnipresent. The next one after that is interpersonal communications. And then we also talked about the skill of being the environment and or cultural manager. But like we said, the most important thing is just understanding human behavior. Be a good mentor, be a good teacher, be a good person that understands what the challenges of people are going through. Learn where they came from to understand how they behave. Just because I'm from North Dakota doesn't mean I behave the same way as the people from California does. It's just a different way we grew up. They grew up in the sunshine, I grew up in the snow. Hey, if you missed last week's video in which we talked about the core skills towards this diagram, hey, check it out right here in the link. Also, if you get a chance, check out these videos as well. We will talk to you guys again next week.